Hey, what's up? My name is Tony Watson, and this is my self reflection for history. And let's see. First question is: what did you believe about history teaching and the use of technology before class? Well, for this one, obviously it's been a long semester, so for history, I teaching before class, we never really used it because, I mean, back when I took history, it was you read a book and that was all you did. And echo pause. And mostly you didn't have nothing to do. You didn't think about it. And it was kind of like, okay, now I'm definitely more open to it because, I mean, there's so much stuff on the internet that can make history actually interesting instead of boring like it used to be. How did today's learning and teaching activities challenge your past beliefs by the end of class? Well, obviously, this semester has helped me a lot because technology technology can help you get a deeper perspective on what kind of history was going on. And plus, more likely that you're going to see multiple views. And obviously, technology is going to help with that because there's all kinds of stuff on the internet. What did you learn that you think will make you a better social studies teacher? Well, obviously the internet, it helps, but I also think history, especially nowadays, is music. What did you learn that better? Okay, mostly that music can help it also because I'm going out of the box a little bit. Nowadays, there's all kinds of music, people making music, getting their ideas out. So you can go to YouTube and find out different ideas for what they're doing. And for me in particular, I always think about Les Miserables and the wonderful music on that one. Obviously, Hamilton, because, I mean, God, you could probably do one lesson alone just off the movie by itself. So that's always important. So I definitely and plus there's always different kinds of resources out there that's going to help you be a better teacher. What are some doubts you still harbor and why? Support with specific examples from your own personal experience. Well, from my experience, just that, okay, once I'm actually teaching, how can I make it more interesting? Because it's still students. They're going to still be bored. They're going to still like, oh God, we got to do history. Like, okay, how do I make it personable to them and relate it to them? And that's always the important thing. You got to make it personable to them, otherwise they won't remember it later on. And that's something I might have to work on in the future. What aspects of the article, historical thinking concepts, do you embrace, challenge, or reject? Well, mostly I embrace all of them because it says, okay, one, establish historical significance. Well, obviously I just talked about that. Means making sure that it's something they can relate to. And why did this thing happen? So, okay, why did it happen? Well, because this was going on during this time. Okay, we see from this side, this was going on at that time, and this was going on. So it just all led into this one thing. Usually with history, you think of a mind map of there's all these different circumstances, and all of them contribute to this one thing. So you got to be able to think multidimensionally that, okay, this is what contributed. Use primary source evidence. This is where the internet comes in really useful because, okay, you can find primary evidence sources on the internet. Obviously, the website Dr. DeLeon gave us is going to help with that. And that was a good resource. I will definitely bookmark that one and use it in the future. Identify continuity and change. Obviously, why did this event happen and why did this change happen? Okay, here's the path they were going. They went this way. So why did a particular event? So like, okay, why did the American Revolution happen? Because of John Alexander Hamilton. The taxes by Great Britain, England. Okay, take historical perspectives. So it's putting yourself into their shoes and figuring out why did they do what they did. What was the circumstances of the time? Did the society help them with that, or was it something that they decided? Understand the ethical dimension of historical ethical. That one I kind of reject a little bit, because this one, okay, ethical. Each person has a different idea of what's ethical, and also it depends a lot on what was going on at the time. So, like, okay, some people might say, oh, well, let's say the civil rights movement. Well, why didn't the president do more that was unethical? Yeah, but also in the South, if that was their way of living, and the civil rights movement and Martin Luther King. Let's say, well, why didn't he get violent? Why didn't he force his way through? Well, if he had done that, there's possible it would have ended up a whole lot worse. The Southern would have dig down more, and who knows what the things that would have happened. So ethics, it kind of depends on the person and that's reading it and how they're determining it. So it's good to keep in mind, but it's also not put too much emphasis on that a little bit. But okay, thank you very much. Merry Christmas.